Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. My name's David, and tonight's top stories, we've got a bunch of things to cover here. We first got some protesting going outside the government building as Justin Trudeau's meeting with the Prime Minister of Italy. We've also got some bonehead statements from the Minister of Justice. We've got carbon tax showing up in restaurants. I'm going to break down the carbon tax for you so you can do the math very simple for yourself and see how much you're actually paying, which is way more than you might expect. We also got one more story here I'm bringing back up from 2023, which is related to a bonehead statement from the Minister of Justice. So let's get into this. First off, we got some protesters outside the Fairmont Royal York. We've got Justin Trudeau meeting with Giorgia Meloni of Italy. Look at this. Jail time for Freeland. Stop UN Global something. No farmers, no food, no future. Trudeau for freedom is essential. Oh, invasion. Global invasion. WF and Trudeau must go. I wonder what the Prime Minister of Italy thinks when she sees all this kind of crap outside. It's not like the average amount of protesting going on in a country. Next up, we've got Justin Trudeau's Minister of Justice, Arif Virani, who says that putting Canadians under house arrest on suspicion that they may commit this word, we're not going to be saying that, in the future will help to de-radicalize people who are learning things online. Now, what does this remind you of? Does it remind you of a movie? A movie right up here. Does it remind you of this movie? This is exactly what this movie is. If you haven't seen Minority Report, go watch it. It's a movie all about future crimes being prevented by the system, the robots, the whatever. They go and they capture people before they commit the crimes because they know they're going to happen. That's what this is basically saying, which is ridiculous because obviously we don't have the technology to know that. This is coming true. This is ridiculous. It's stuff like this, just ridiculous stuff, along with all the other ridiculous stuff that's going on, that you end up with stuff like this. So this is a story from last year. It turns out to be a hoax. Basically, in America, they had some kitty litter in one of the schools, and then somebody started stirring up a story that started rumors that one of the kids was identifying as a furry, and he demanded to use a litter box in the school, and so and it just blew up. And then Joe Rogan put on his podcast, which he later rescinded that comment, and then so somebody blew that up in a Cpac elementary school as well. And the problem we have with this, because this is absolutely ridiculous, right? But the problem is we're believing this. I saw this article today and I was like, oh, that must be true because it's just Canada. I believe this now. Everyone believes that this is possible because why? Because you have, like, for example, the 50-year-old man who identifies as a little girl and then he can compete in a swim meet. Like, why is the organizers not standing up like, yo, this is not right? One, you can't have a 50-year-old man in the changing room with little girls. And two, you can't have a 50-year-old man competing with little girls in the swim meet. That's ridiculous. That's the problem we have in Canada. All this woke garbage nonsense. And then for that reason, now we just believe that this could be happening because so much of the stupid crap that's going on in Canada. And then, obviously tied in with what's going on here with Minister of Justice. This guy's an absolute fool. This is not going to end well, guys. If you start putting people in jail because you think that they're going to commit some crime without some special technological brain scanner that comes from space or whatever, like, give me a break. People are going to knock the Parliament buildings down if you start doing this stuff. I'm just telling you right now. So jumping over to here now, we've got this video that's blowing up today on X. $362 Canadian in a British Columbian Walmart. Just check out what this person bought for $362.
Hey, I just got back from Walmart. I spent $362.67. I got this mixed bag of Lay's chips. I got some wipes and some chicken nuggets. My husband asked for one of these cakes, and I got a family pack of boneless skinless chicken breasts. I got 2 bags of shredded cheese and these pasta things. I got this for me and my daughter, and I got some lotion for her. Got some Energizer batteries and some Gravol, and I got these 3 things of cat food. I got some Pepsi, some cream soda, some cat litter, and some dog food. I got a can of biscuits and this thing of Uncrustables, a bag of French fries, and 2 bags of... I got these wax melts and some muffin liners. My daughter picked out these applesauce pouches, and I got pepperoni. I got 4 things of fruit punch and 4 things of iced tea. I got these little mini Mars bars as a treat. And I got a can of, or I guess a jar of pasta sauce and a thing of coffee cream. I got these small mini cans of Pepsi and some pasta, some rice. I got some cotton balls and some fish filters and some fish food. And that's everything that I got from Walmart.
So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of food there. I would say maybe buy some vegetables because you're going to have some serious constipation going on there. But to each their own if you want to eat all that stuff. I can't eat standard American diet or standard Canadian diet or whatever. Let me know in the comments down below how much your food hauls cost. I would just say here, there are ways to save a lot of money, and maybe I'll do another video going out and showing you guys. But if you go to the dollar store, anything you can buy at the dollar store, I would 100% do that. You can buy these there for $1 at the dollar store, guaranteed. She's paying $2 or $3 each for these at the grocery store. And I don't know what the deal is. I've been trying to look it up. If you guys know, please leave it in the comments down below. There are some funny things going on with food pricing. For example, Dollarama can sell rice cakes, those little rice cracker things, for $1.50, but the grocery store sells them for $3, and they're obviously different brands. Dollarama has their own brand, but even then, the dollar store sell these things for $1 or $1.25 or whatever they are, where the grocery store sell them for $2 or $3. And it's like the only ones who are underpricing are the dollar stores, and all the rest are big, more mega corporations like Galen Weston owned stuff. There's something funny going on between overpricing of the big corporations. Also, there's like egg board and there's a wheat board. These boards that are controlled by the government. As far as I know, it's hard to figure this stuff out. But basically, the farmers will sell the eggs for like $1, and the wheat board or the egg board, whatever sets the price. So I don't know if it's the board takes money and makes money off that, or they just set prices, and then Galen Weston is the one selling them for $7, and he's making $6 while the farmer is only making $1, and then, remove production costs. And what do they make on that? 20 cents, 10 cents, 5 cents per an entire carton of eggs? Like, something's funny going on there. But anyways, get anything from the dollar store that you can, because you will save a lot of money. And you can get pasta sauce there too, and guaranteed you probably spend $5.50 or $6 on that pasta sauce. Go to the dollar store and it's $1.50. Once again, because it's a Chinese company, they're not within that same Galen Weston or any of those other big corporations, Safeway and Save on Foods and whatever else. Yeah, funny business going on there. So we're going to jump over to this now. This has been blowing up and going around here. This is a receipt from Goodfellas Wood Oven Pizza in Toronto. People are not happy about this. Let me know your thoughts down below. But what we're looking at here is a receipt, and you got all this stuff going on here. And at the bottom, a carbon fee of 2%. It's a percentile, $3.04. So the subtotal, $155. In the grand scheme, it's not a lot. But the thing is, this is being tacked on. So what most people are doing, what basically every business is doing, they just increase their prices. And so when you agree to pay for it at the agreed price, then that's what you pay, right? It just is what it is. But when you're tacking on fees at the end, people aren't expecting an extra $3 there. They're going to be pissed off. Guaranteed what people are going to do if they keep seeing this kind of crap with an extra carbon fee, they're going to reduce their tip, or they'll just get pissed, or whatever it may be. They won't go back. This place is shooting themselves in the foot. And if you look down at the bottom here, it says, what we eat fuels climate change. Adding 2% to every restaurant bill to invest in carbon capture will help offset our carbon footprint. Please visit goodfellaspizza.ca to learn more. Okay, let's go look at their website. All right, so we got Goodfellas website here. Of course, now this is going to be a guessing game where to find. If we look at their menu, though, like there's no mention of that carbon. Does it say here somewhere? So prices are subject to da 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 da. Da 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 da. So there's no mention of that carbon fee on their online menu here. So I'm just trying to find if they actually donate money for carbon capture, or are they double dipping? They're increasing their prices for carbon tax and then taxing a carbon tax on the carbon tax. All I can say is this. I'm sure this. I haven't even checked, but I'm sure on Google their reviews are getting slaughtered because you just can't add on extra fees. It's just a way to piss people off. You're better off just increase your prices, and when people agree to it, and that's it. If people don't want to pay that price, then they just won't. So under their story here, I think, is where it is adding 2% to every bill. So it's right here, but that should be on the menu there. You can't just tuck it away on some story page. They're citing the wildfires, which when we looked at in the last video, is 50% of wildfires are caused by humans. The proceeds from the carbon capture fee will be used to support Tree Canada's national greening program, which plants trees in areas that need reforestation. Why isn't Justin Trudeau planting trees? Captain Carbon there has planted how many trees? 0 trees. If they were indeed planting trees, you'd think they have a counter, like say, oh, we've planted how many trees. It's a very general thing. Are they actually doing this? Who knows? Are they just pocketing it and they put the little greenwashing on there and call it a day? It's like, oh yeah, we're all about the environment. Are they I don't know. Like, I would like to see something if that's actually the case. But if we look at Goodfellas here in Toronto, the reviews, terrible smell of alcohol from the server. This was just posted today, so stay tuned. They might be getting blasted with bad reviews. Who knows? Those of you, if you're from Toronto, let me know. Do you like seeing a mysterious 2% fee that isn't actually proved anywhere to be going to planting trees? I can't find anything on their website. Where else am I supposed to look to see they actually plant trees? Yeah, I don't think this is going to end well for this business here. Yeah, that fee. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this carbon fee. I think any restaurant that puts this on there is going to get absolutely crushed. And speaking of carbon tax here, let's do some quick math here. I've got a document up here. I've got some simple math here for you guys to do at home for your own carbon tax, figure out how much you're actually spending. So we've got 4 categories. First, gas. Gas, what we're going to do here is take the liters of your vehicle, multiply that by 0.17, which is 17 cents per liter, which is what the price will be on April 1st. It's going up 3.6 cents, something like that, 3.4 cents. And that ends up with $8.50 for my Honda CR-V, which is 50 liters. $8.50 times 4, how many fill-ups you do per month, and that'll get $34 for 4 fill-ups. Now if we multiply that by 12, we get our annual cost of the carbon tax for just gas, which is $408 based on those numbers. In the next category here, we've got home heating. So what you're going to do is look on your bill. It'll say how much. I'm putting in $50. I know a lot of you guys will have a lot more than that. That'll be $50 of straight carbon tax. Now what we're going to do is multiply that by 1.05. That's 5% GST tacked onto, like charged on the carbon tax. It's a tax on a tax. Highly corrupt. $52.50. Multiply that by 12 equals $630 for the year of just carbon tax on home heating. Our next category is food. This one's a little bit complicated because we have inflation, but I'm going to say $500 a month average person spending on food. Divide that by 2. Now the reason why I divide that by 2 and get $250 because the price of green peas, that's why I use as my benchmark, but I've looked at numerous other things, and I'll do another video where I go into the grocery store, but used to be 99 cents for a bag of frozen green peas. Now it's $2.69. That is more than double the cost. Rice crackers used to be $1 in the No Frills, what are like Galen Weston grocery stores, Superstore, all that. Now they're like $2, $2.50, $3. Especially if you go to Save on Foods, they're like even more than that, $3.50 plus. Food has easily doubled with Justin Trudeau and his inflation. He spent over $600 billion, which is more than all the other prime ministers combined. So we get rid of Trudeau, we will get rid of this inflation. Pierre Poilievre will bring down the spending and bring down the inflation. Just take half, because literally the food has doubled. So we would have been paying $250 per month before. Multiply that by 12. That brings up to $3,000. And finally, the mystery category here, it's your mortgage. That's right, you're paying carbon tax on your mortgage. How does this work out? This math is a little bit more involved. The average mortgage is $500,000. That's based off basically the 2 biggest centers, Vancouver and Toronto. The current inflation rate is 2.86%. It used to be 3.4%. It's gone down a bit. 0.6% is the rate from the Bank of Canada. The amount, not so much the rate, the amount that they've stated that has come from the carbon tax. That's their number. That's not my number. They said the carbon tax is affecting this this inflation rate by 0.6%. So if we look at that as a percentage of that, that's 20%. Now, if we look at the old rate of 3.4, that is 17%. Now, with the carbon tax going up in April 1st, that's more like 20%. And technically, if you do this math, you'll notice that it's 20.09. So it's actually 21%. We're just rounding down to make this simple. So next we have 5%. This is the bank's interest rate on your mortgage. Some of you might have locked in. I've seen people locked in at 2.6, some 4%, whatever. Whatever the rate of your bank is, say it's 5% interest on your mortgage, we're going to multiply that by 20% because that's how much this inflation is affected by this bank's number here, right? So 20% of that is 1%. So simply put, take your mortgage value and multiply it by 1%. That's how much carbon tax you are paying, which is $5,000 annually. You're paying $5,000 now. If your mortgage is only $100,000, you're paying $1,000. If your mortgage is for $1 million, you're paying $10,000 annually. Thanks to Justin Trudeau. And if we add all this up together, what do we get? We get $9,038. So it doesn't matter if you're even in Alberta and getting $1,800 back in a rebate. You get more back. Jonathan Wilkinson always says he is a cold-faced, stone-faced liar, just like Justin Trudeau and Sean Fraser and every other schmuck in red in the Liberals. They are all liars. If you're in Nova Scotia, you're getting $800 back. Guess what? You're more than 10 times, 11 times. You're paying 11 times more than you're getting back. They're a bunch of liars. This is the math. Just plug it in.
Their plan is to withdraw the 4 times a year checks that land in the bank accounts of Canadians, that the parliamentary budget officer demonstrates gives more money to 8 out of 10 families right across the country in jurisdictions where it's applied.
Play devil's advocate. Some Liberals say, oh, well, the food is not right because inflation, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? We can then take that 20%. So you can see here what I've done is the $500 in food, you multiply it by 20%. Anyways, if we use this Bank of Canada rate of 20%, that's still $100. If you plug that in there, instead of, being $250 is $100 times, that's $1,200 versus $3,000. Whatever. You can minus 2,000. That makes it 7,000. It's like the numbers I used before when I did this. It turned out to be 7,500, which was using a more conservative food approach. There's no way to do this math where you get your more money back. You just don't. Now, for all the renters, it's worse because what people do is when they get a mortgage, they get the renter to cover that mortgage. They don't want a loss. From working in the real estate industry before and all that, like a lot of people just try to get an extra $100, $200 a month. That way it'll cover all the extra kind of costs and stuff they need to deal with. It helps with strata fees and all that other kind of stuff. They pass that along to you. You're basically just paying their rate here, but higher. They didn't have to pay so much. Then the rental rate would be lower. And thus, they're paying $5,000 more. They're directly passing that on to you. Now, this isn't a battle of homeowners and not homeowners. This is not what this is about. We're all Canadians. We're all in this together. What it comes down to is Trudeau needs to take out this bloody tax because it's killing us. It's killing all of us. I find it disgusting that our government keeps lying to us in those videos, and the House of Commons, they keep lying and lying. They know these numbers. They're not dumb. They know these numbers. They have entire teams of people. They have entire departments that do this math. They know what they're doing. They're just trying to scam us, and they're trying to pull the wool over our rugs for whatever plan they're doing. I don't understand why they're putting Canadians through suffering, unless my theory before stands true, that they all own a bunch of houses and that they intentionally jack the prices on houses to get rich. Aside from that, whether it's that or, like financial gain, or if it's insidious, I don't know what it is, but they got to go. Liberals got to go. And finally, we've got a video here from Pierre Poilievre that breaks down the housing prices. And he talks about Chrétien because recently Sean Fraser has been blaming Jean Chrétien for the housing prices. I guess they wore out the amount of times they could blame Stephen Harper, so they're going to Chrétien. I don't know. But yeah, check this out.
Looks like. Instead, housing affordability actually improved after Chrétien's spending cuts and then remained stable for 13 years before a brief jump towards the beginning of the U.S. housing crisis. And then again, housing costs moderated back to their long-term average by 2015, a full 20 years after Chrétien canceled these programs. Now, here in the chart, you see the time when I was housing minister, when it took about 38% of the average family's paycheck to make payments on the average home. Now enter Justin Trudeau.
We need real change in affordable housing.
He promised to bring back the federal housing programs that Jean Chrétien had canceled.
The federal government is not only back in housing, but we're here to stay.
And he did. The Trudeau government brought back in $89 billion of so-called affordable housing programs in Ottawa. Now, you'd expect if these programs were effective that there would be a drop in housing costs after the spending began. So what are the results of all this spending? Well, housing costs shot up. In fact, they've become less affordable than in the entire recorded history of the Royal Bank's measure. Never before has the average Canadian family had to spend 62% of their monthly pre-tax income just to make monthly payments on the average home.
Those are some beautiful animations and graphs that sums it up right there. Justin Trudeau just spending left, right, and center, increasing inflation, bringing in immigrants, increasing demand on houses, and it just jacks up everything. And then on top of that, puts a carbon tax on us, which crushes us for food, fuel, home heating, and your mortgage costs. Trudeau's got to go. Thanks for watching the video here all the way to the end. Be sure to subscribe, turn on that post notifications, to ring the bell, all that good stuff. And yeah, stay warm, stay fed. I'll see you guys in the next one.